Olympian History. Origin. Their origins are shrouded in myth, making it difficult to nail down the truth of all of the stories written about them. At first in the universe there was nothing but the primordial abyss of nothingness, whose sole resident was Nyx, the first of the Olympians. According to ancient myths, the primeval earth goddess Gaea is the progenitor of the principal Olympians. She Gaea created the first to the sky god Ouranos. Reign of Ouranos. Ouranos, now ruler of Olympus, mated with Gaea, producing a number of powerful offspring, the Titans, the Cyclopes and Centaurs. Ouranos feared his children would usurp his power, so he imprisoned the Centaurs and Cyclopes in Tartarus, the dark abyss of the underworld. Gaea, disgusted with the treatment of her children, urged the Titans to overthrow Ouranos. The youngest, Cronus, agreed and led his brothers into ambushing Ouranos in his sleep. He then castrated him with a sickle given to him by Gaea. A dying Ouranos prophesied that one of Cronus' own children would overthrow him, just as he had overthrown Ouranos. Cronus then took his sister Rhea as his wife and became the new ruler of the Olympus. The dying Ouranos prophesied that Cronus would be overthrown by one of his own sons. Reign of Cronus. Cronus seized Olympus, but he neglected to free the Cyclopes or the Hecatonkires. His wife, Rhea, upon the birth of each of his own children, Cronus had the infant imprisoned in Tartarus. The offspring he sent there were Hades, Poseidon, Hera, Demeter, and Hestia. Appalled at the mistreatment of their children, Cronus' wife Rhea concealed her sixth pregnancy from him and secretly gave birth to Zeus and hid him on the island of Crete. Titanomachy. Zeus grew to adulthood among the shepherds of Mount Ida, Crete, and then set about taking revenge on Cronus. Zeus went down into Tartarus and freed his siblings, who had all now grown to adulthood. Zeus also freed the 3 one-eyed giants called Cyclopes and the 300-handed giants called Hecatonkires, all 6 of whom Cronus had imprisoned there for fear they would help overthrow him. The Cyclopes provided the young Olympians powerful weapons to defeat they gave Poseidon a powerful trident, Hades the helm of invisibility, and gave Zeus the powerful thunderbolts. The young Olympians and his allies fought a 10-year war with the Titans, which ended with Zeus's victory. The Titans were imprisoned in Tartarus, and the Hecatonkires were made their guards. Atlas was given the special punishment of holding up the heavens. Reign of Zeus. Following their final victory, the 3 brothers divided the world among themselves. Zeus was given Olympus, and was recognized as overlord. Poseidon was given the oceans of earth, whereas Hades was given the underworld, the realm of the dead. He was tasked with guarding the Titans for all eternity. Zeus married the goddess Hera, but he engaged in many affairs with goddesses, titans, nymphs and mortal women and produced various famous offspring. By Hera, he sired Ares, Eris, Hebe and Hephaestus. His first lover was Metis, a titan. He sired Athena. A relationship with Dion, a titan, produced Aphrodite. He was involved with Leto and sired the twins, Apollo and Artemis. He was also involved with Maia, a nymph, and sired Hermes. With the expansion of the Olympians, Nyx became an outcast within her people, harboring a disdain for the Olympians' pageantries. She attempted to find happiness by emulating the other gods bearing children, resulting in the birth of Hypnos. With the evolution of mankind, the night and the dark became correlative to the unknowns humanity feared. Mortal storytellers used their words to dispel these terrors and find comfort in heroes of myth, shaping Zeus and his children into these ever-growing heroes, causing Nyx to become their opposite. With each legion of followers the Olympians gained, both Nyx's rage and the Olympians' contempt for her grew stronger. With her mind filled with thoughts of betrayal, Nyx gave birth to the twins Apate and Dolos. Conflict between Nyx and her children and the Olympians became inevitable. When a war broke out, Nyx and her children were defeated by the rest of the Olympians. Zeus shattered Nyx's soul into 3 night shards to depower her, and then cast her out along with her children into a prison of darkness, ensuring their confinement with a spell that sealed their fate for as long as the sun shone upon the earth. Out of her hatred, Nyx manifested her 4th and most powerful child, Oasis. Pre-cataclysmic age. Circa 50,000 BC, the inhabitants of Atlantis worshipped Jupiter. Some accounts depict them as being active as long ago as 20,000 BC. The Olympians, including at least Athena and Poseidon, were active and worshipped on Atlantis. Atlas supported the Axis Mundi was located in Atlantis. Hyborian Age. For some reasons, Alexander of Macedon and his armies were briefly sent to the Hyborian Age, 10,000 years before their era, and the descendants of those who stayed there invoked Zeus, a god unknown to Conan. Around 800 BC, at the end of the Hyborian Age, beings known as the Olympians traveled from the interdimensional realm of Olympus via a nexus located on Mount Olympus to Earth. They began interacting with the humans of the region who began to worship them. Eternals. Mount Olympus lay near Olympia, the principal city of the Eternals. Zeus and his daughter Athena met with Zeus, the leader of the Eternals, and his daughter Azura. Noticing the physical resemblance between Zeus and Zeus and between Azura and herself, Athena suggested that the Olympian gods and the Eternals form an alliance in which the Eternals would act as the gods' representatives on Earth. The other three enthusiastically agreed, and Azura took her current name Athena to signify the sealing of the pact. However, over the years, many humans came to think of many Eternals not as the gods' representatives, but as the gods themselves. This led to a growing resentment by the gods towards the Eternals, which erupted into a brief war. Ancient Greece. Hercules. The great hero Hercules was born in Thebes, ancient Greece, the son of Zeus, king of the Olympian gods, and Alcmena. Throughout his life, he went on many adventures around Greece. Quest for the Golden Fleece. In 1289 BC, Argonauts led by Jason gathered the mightiest warriors in Greece sailed to find the fabled Golden Fleece. 12 labors. Between 1271 BC and 1268 BC, Hercules was best known for his celebrated 12 labors, which were performed in part to prove his worthiness for immortality to Zeus. Trojan War. In 1194 BC, the Trojan War was a war between Greece, Greeks, and the city of Troy and its allies. The strife began after the Trojan prince Paris abducted Helen, wife of Menelaus of Sparta. When Menelaus demanded her return, the Trojans refused. Menelaus then persuaded his brother Agamemnon to lead an army against Troy. This lasted for many years. Odyssey. After the Trojan War, Odysseus made a 10-year journey across the Mediterranean Sea to reach his home, Ithaca. His adventures were recounted in the epic Odyssey. In 600 BC, on the island of Pyrrhus, Hercules battled Antaeus. This battle was witnessed by 20th-century time traveler Tommy Time. In 528 BC, Atlas stood over the Phalgu River in India, as Siddhartha Gautama attained enlightenment to become the great Buddha. Olympian Amatsukami War. Millennia ago, there was a war between the Olympians and the Amatsukami. Zeus and Amatsu Mitsubishi separately told a single blacksmith to forge a weapon for them. The blacksmith crafted two swords, one perfect, the other flawed. The perfect was called Grasscutter and the flawed one was called God-Killer. The war went on for millennia with no clear winner. Roman Empire, 146 BC, 324 AD. In 146 BC, the Romans conquered Macedonia and then Greece. They even adopted many of the Greek customs and began worshipping the Olympian gods, changing many of their names in the process. 1st century BC. In the 1st century BC, Atlas passed over what would become Korea. Christianity. When Christianity replaced the worship of the Olympian gods in the Roman Empire, Zeus decided that the time had come for the Olympians to break most of their ties with Earth. Poseidon, however, was still allowed to watch over his Atlanteans worshippers. Olympian isolationism. 10th century. Third host. In 1000 AD, the third host of the Celestials occurred, during which the aliens informed they would return 1,000 years later to judge Earth's right to continue existing. Izanagi attended the Council of Godheads meeting to discuss this threat. While the pantheons prepared for war, Gaea planned a peaceful solution to the problem with many goddesses. For the next 1,000 years, they searched for humans representing mankind's highest ideals, to be offered to the Celestials as an offering. The goddesses placed the candidates in suspended animation, with their superhuman potential. The legacy of the first host awakened. 18th century. On September 18, 1793, the President of the United States of America, George Washington, was at a ceremony laying the cornerstone of the capital of the new city, Washington, D.C. When he was laying the stone, he looked into the sky and noticed something he had never noticed before, Atlas holding up the heavens, thus revealing that the Axis Mundi was now in North America. If you want to support me, check out my Patreon at https://www.patreon.com/Kayashin. I tend to polls that decide important plot stuff in my P at Trian. Many thanks to my awesome patrons. Ben Phillips.
If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.